whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Ready, two. Ready, two. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and take your seats. Thank you. That was beautiful. We have a special one in a series of special events planned for this morning, but the first special event isn't going to happen for a couple of minutes, so I want to make some introductions. And some of the people I'm going to introduce will be up here on the podium later, and they'll be introduced again, so forgive me for multiple introductions, but I don't want to miss anyone. I want to welcome and introduce Mike Gardner. Mike is a member of the March Joint Powers Commission. And a member of the Riverside City Council. The March Joint Powers Commission, as most of you know, is the agency that has jurisdiction over everything that happens on this project. Our land use authority, they give us permits, building permits, and they are a redevelopment agency, hopefully for a long time, but we don't know about that. Hopefully we can influence that. I'd like to introduce Richard Stewart. Richard is a member of the March Joint Powers Commission. Richard is also the mayor of Moreno Valley and a distinguished participant. He's been involved in this project from the beginning on the commission. Thanks. Bill Beatty. Bill, welcome. Bill is also a member of the March Joint Powers Commission representing the city of Moreno Valley and a city council member in the city of Moreno Valley. I saw Bob Buster here, Supervisor Buster. Longtime distinguished member of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors, member of the March Joint Powers Commission. He's been a tremendous force on that commission for a long time and very supportive of our project. Thank you. Darrell Bush, I think Darrell was introduced once before. Darrell is a member of the March Joint Powers Commission and also the mayor of the city of Paris. Mark Yarborough. Mark is a member of the March Joint Powers Commission and a member of the City Council of the City of Paris and a longtime strong supporter of the project. A few other members of the commission, Lori Stone, the executive director. Usually when Lori sees me, she goes the other way, but Danielle Wheeler, deputy director of the March Joint Powers Authority. Dan Fairbanks, the planning director of the March Joint Powers Authority. I'd like to introduce Wilmer Amina Carter, assemblywoman from state of California, who's here this morning. I talked to her briefly. Welcome. being here also. I'd like to introduce two gentlemen that represent GOED. It's the Governor's Office of Economic Development. They've been a tremendous support to our project with tremendous ideas and leadership, and have helped us expose the project statewide. I'd first like to introduce Joe Ayala, who's the director of GOED. Thank you. And also Lewis Stewart, who's Deputy Director of Innovation and Emerging Technology. Lewis is the tallest member of our team. I'd like to welcome from California Baptist University, who will be one of our participants on the campus with an educational facility supporting allied medical, Dean Chuck Sands. I saw Oscar Valdepena here, who's the president of the Moreno Valley Chamber. Oscar, thank you. I believe I also saw Bishop Lacey Sykes, who's here from Crossword Christian Church. And I want to introduce he will be up here later, but I want to acknowledge him nevertheless, Colonel Carl McGregor. Colonel McGregor is the wing commander, and he's the man that makes everything happen on this base. And it's been a delight and a pleasure to work with him. He's a tremendous leader. Personally, I think he's going to go places far beyond this even. And he is an inspiration to us and someone we can go to whenever we need support, assistance, ideas. A terrific person, and we really appreciate him. It's the watch pot that never boils. 10:25. Okay. Okay, jokes. I've used up all the jokes, as evil as they were. Diane? Yeah, you can pray for the future of redevelopment in California. This is a redevelopment project. The inside joke, we'd love redevelopment to continue in the state of California because it does produce some phenomenal projects such as this one. I'd like to acknowledge Keith Bennett from U.S. Vets. Keith, U.S. Vets is a national program that supports homeless veterans, helps homeless veterans transition back into society after serving their country. It's a phenomenal organization. There's a chapter of U.S. Vets that operates on this base. We look forward to that expanding and flourishing here because the veterans are really a very, very key part of this. So I'd like to welcome all of them, including Keith, and all of the veterans here today. Thank you for coming. I'm going to ask Mary and Ashley to come up. Marion, there he is. We have time, I understand. Marion is a distinguished member of the Riverside County Board of Supervisors, chairman of the March Joint Powers Commission, tremendous supporter of the project, and he always has something interesting and witty to say. Marion.
I don't know about the witty. I spoke to the veterans, a man out of Calamasa. There was a fire. We didn't know when it was coming. And I started talking. I said, sure, it's going to happen if I talk. I was just getting about 2/3 through, and I hear this little buzz in the back, and I speeded up, and I finished right on cue, and said, here's a flyover. Just like we knew what we were doing. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to one of the March Joint Power Authority's newest development project. Our mission here is bringing jobs to Riverside County, good jobs. And our goal is to replace the jobs and the resulting economic loss to this area from when the base was downsized. You remember that was one of the blackest days in the history of this county. I mean, we went down and we didn't recover for almost a decade. March Life Care is one of those projects that will allow us to do just that. I recently authored a letter sent to our state legislators regarding the governor's proposal to abolish redevelopment and asked them to consider the negative impact this proposal will have on military base reuse. This is truly unique and should be taken into consideration. Redevelopment is a tool we use to minimize the risk private developers face when developing projects on former military installations. This project is a shining example of the appropriate use of that tool and what a redevelopment agency can accomplish through public-private partnership. As the ceremony today illustrates, there's much deconstruction that must occur before infrastructure and vertical construction can begin. Military base reuse is very challenging. Our redevelopment agency has helped to mitigate some of the obstacles we have faced in fulfilling our mission to redevelop March and bring good jobs to the region. Not only is this project bringing over 7,000 permanent jobs, look at all the construction workers that have been put to work already during this demolition phase, and the thousands more construction jobs to come as future phases of the development are built. As commissioners, we have a great group of commissioners. They were all introduced. They work hard. Such progress was made as the old abandoned buildings are being torn down and the materials recycled, clearing the way for this new integrated medical campus. The March JP staff has worked diligently with Don Ecker and his team for almost 7 years to bring this health and wellness city to March. Our citizens will benefit tremendously from this project with new jobs and better health care for the region. The focus on health and wellness in our community is significant. This project is bringing a better quality of life to our residents. And with a focus on education, research, and training, we'll be building a strong workforce for many generations to come. Not only is this redevelopment project benefiting all of us now, I would quote, this redevelopment project benefiting all of us now, it is changing the entire landscape of the region. It is truly a game changer. Thank you.
What is it that I hear? Either it's a diesel truck or airplanes. Let's step outside.
Mugshot on all those campaign things. So this is great to see you come full circle now.
First one was intentional. They'll put the fringe elements, the Democratic and fringe elements of the Republican. You put on a great No, mine isn't. Oh, here we go.
Thanks a lot for continuing now and helping people.
Oh, look at this. Whoa!
Mary and Ashley, interesting, witty, and now punctual. Way to go. So the flyover was compliments of the March Aero Club and the 163rd Reconnaissance Wing. We want to thank them. And also a late thank you to Angie Waite for a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. Thank you. I also see Jolene Murphy in the audience. I wanted to acknowledge her. She's here on behalf of Congressman Ben Calvert. Now, last November, March Healthcare announced the signing of a long-term commitment with Riverside Medical Clinic, which is the oldest and largest physicians group in this region. Today, joining us from Riverside Medical Clinic is Dr. Steve Larson, who's the chairman and CEO, and Dr. Robbie Berry, who's the vice chairman. Steve, Robbie.
Well, I'd like to thank March Life Care for the incredible opportunity it has given us to serve this community. Together with our partners, Catholic Healthcare West and the University of California School of Medicine, we can elevate the care in this community so that it's world-class. We're very excited about this project, and we would recommend to all of you that you seize the day and continue to progress on this excellent endeavor. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. On behalf of Riverside Medical Clinic, I would like to thank March Life Care for inviting us to speak over here today. Riverside Medical Clinic has been providing services to this community since 1935. We are one of the oldest and the largest physician-owned group in this community. There has been an explosive population growth along the I-215 corridor, and the time is right for Riverside Medical Clinic and March Life Care Campus to initiate work on an integrated medical facility over here, and we are glad to be part of that. We are planning to build a 120,000 square foot facility over here to house approximately 60 physicians to start, providing both primary care and subspecialty care. We plan to have an urgent care, an outpatient surgery center, an outpatient diagnostic and imaging center with state-of-the-art capabilities and facilities and equipment. We look forward to working with Catholic Healthcare West and St. Bernardines. We are excited to be here. We are ready to start construction. Let's get a move on. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Larson and Dr. Berry. Last summer, St. Bernardine Medical Center and Catholic Healthcare West announced an exclusive relationship with March Healthcare Development and Riverside Medical Clinic to define an entirely new concept in the integrated delivery of medical services in this region. Joining us today from St. Bernardine's is President Steve Barron and the Chief Nursing Officer, Vicki McCain. I'd like to ask them to say a couple of words.
Thank you. Catholic Healthcare West is the largest not-for-profit healthcare company in the western United States. We own 40 hospitals in 3 states, California, Arizona, and Nevada, and we build hospitals, operate hospitals. We're not building too many hospitals in California these days because of the economy and because it literally, and I'm not exaggerating, costs twice as much money and takes twice as long to build a hospital in California as it does Arizona or Nevada. So there's some real problems with the approval process and some of the issues here in California. It's hurting our economy, it's moving jobs to other states, I think. One of the reasons that we've been working on this project is because we had an opportunity to build something from scratch, to work with world-class partners, and to really coordinate and integrate care. You know, you hear a lot in the newspaper and in the healthcare debate about the need to completely change the way we deliver healthcare because it's broken and it doesn't work for most of us. We know in the future, whatever happens, we're going to have to deliver more care to more people with better quality at a more reasonable cost with more transparency. And the key to that is really to reduce the amount of fragmentation. Right now, doctors, hospitals, and other providers are all kind of doing their own thing, not working together, and their financial incentives are totally misaligned. You don't see them on the same campus real often, and in this area, it's hard to really change the culture and do something entirely different, because hospitals like ours are very old, they're very formal, they're very bureaucratic. They have strong cultures, and it's hard to make a complete change. It's like turning a battleship in a small river, I guess, is the best way to put it. So rather than trying to change the culture of an existing hospital, we have an opportunity here to start from scratch and build something new, working closely with Dr. Larson and the Riverside Medical Clinic, other providers in the area, and build a comprehensive campus where we don't duplicate everything, where we coordinate everything better, we reduce the amount of fragmentation, we reduce the inefficiencies in the system, we deliver better quality with more transparency. So this is a great opportunity for the community, but it's also a great opportunity for those of us who are providers to really reinvent the way we do things. And we're very excited about the opportunity and happy to be here today and look forward to the future. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. It's my privilege to talk to you just for a moment about my role as the co-director of the Healing Institute for March Life Care. And about 6 months ago, we got together, this group, and we shared our experiences of healthcare for what we ourselves have had and our families, and talked about what more could healthcare be. I had read a book called Radical Loving Care. I shared it with John, and generous as he is, he bought a copy for all of us, and we used that a little bit in guiding us to what we see as a mission for March Life Care. And I want to read you one excerpt from this book, just a sentence, to give you a sense of where we're trying to head. So we talk about, this is under a chapter called Transforming the Patient Gown into a Cloak of Respect. The solution is for healthcare leaders and doctors to begin to see the patient gown as a cloak of respect that represents a season of suffering for a human being. The patient gown must become a signal to all caregivers that here is a patient in need, a fellow human in need of respect. And we have to earn the trust of those that we take care of. People are vulnerable. And, we talked in our group, the United States does a pretty good job with health care. I mean, it's state-of-the-art for the most part, competent care, there are access issues. But we wanted to talk about the other dimension, which is caring. And if you combine clinical care with loving care, you get healing care. And healing is what March Life Care is about. And I look forward, I feel privileged to be on this journey with all of you as we build this jewel in the crown of California healthcare. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve and Vicki. A couple of more introductions. Dr. Bakhtiar Ahmad represents close to 100 Moreno Valley-related physicians, and he's been a very active force in this project from the beginning. I'd like to introduce him and ask him if he'd like to say a couple of words.
Honorable Brown, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
2 decades ago, a new hospital came into existence in this local area, Moreno Valley Community Hospital. We became part of it, myself as a vascular and general surgeon, the rest of my colleagues who started practicing over here, serving the community of Moreno Valley and Paris. 2 decades passed, we continued to practice over here, and we were the physicians who chose to practice over here rather than going to the beaches of Southern California, where we have a lot of other hospitals where we could have practiced, but we chose to serve this community. We went along, however, just like everywhere else, the market forces do affect the healthcare system in this country, all across the nation, and Inland Empire was no exception. 3 years ago, Kaiser Foundation bought the hospital, the only hospital in Moreno Valley, and obviously it did affect us. Even though they graciously let us continue to practice there, but it's becoming very difficult. It has become very difficult because they compete with the other insurance plans and other insurance companies, so they would not allow us to bring us the patient there. It's not only us, it's the patients. Then they have to seek medical care elsewhere who are our patients for 2 decades. Then came along a visionary, a person whom I admire and who I came to know, full of energy, Mr. Don Eckers, who brought this plan of March Life Care. Many people must have doubted him, but I never did right from the beginning with my partners and with my physicians. I told them that this is another place which is going to be developed, and that will be our home because we did not to move away from this local area because we have developed a very strong bond with the people and with our patients over here because we have served them. And even though the rest of the milestones we crossed with Don Eckers on paper, this is in real time and in real place, and thank you. I thank you very much for letting us be part of this. And along the way, we are very proud to join Riverside Medical. Dr. Larson, whom I have developed to a very good relationship. We have devoted many hours working together with Don Eckers and Leslie Group. And then came along a giant in healthcare, Catholic West, and we are very proud to be part of all that. I assure you, the population of Moreno Valley and Paris, that we are here, will be part of this project. This is going to be a state-of-the-art project. And what would that attract in the physician shortage area? More physicians, and obviously the more hospital beds would be created because it is a designated area in which there is a shortage of the beds. Thank you very much for letting us participate in this project.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmad. Jamil Dada. I see Jamil sitting out in the audience. Jamil is the president of the National Workforce Board. He's been active for many years on that board, as well as the State of California Workforce Development Board and the County of Riverside Board as well. And Jamil, would you like to come up and say a few things? Talk about jobs, Jamil.
My thing, jobs. It's already been mentioned. This is bringing a lot of jobs, but let's look at the trickle-down view. That's ultimately where the community will benefit. Because all the high-skilled workers that are going to be working in this project are going to be buying homes. They're going to be spending money. They're going to be going out to dinner. They're going to be vacationing. They're going to be buying cars. They're going to be buying appliances. They're going to be buying clothes. And that's where the impact is billions and billions and billions of dollars. So that's the other side to this, and that's where I think the community truly benefits. Remember, from all the buzz about the last decade from the census, we know that this was one of the fastest growing regions in the country. And the Public Policy Institute of California tells us that it will continue to be the fastest growing region in California, and hence the country. So for the next 10 years, for the next 20 years, that growth will continue. That is why we need this project. And gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thanks, Jamil. We're pleased this morning to have two of our local newspapers represented, the Press Enterprise and the Black Voice News. And Ron Redfern had a last-minute commitment that he had to attend, so Karen Kokaiko Vice President of Marketing for the Press Enterprises here. And Karen's going to help me do the last of the introductions because she's more organized than I am.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today. Actually, I'm going to introduce a handful of our advisory board members that are here today. And I'd just like to mention that 2 years ago there were only 3 members, and today we have 30. So Jamil Dada, he is also a member of our advisory board. Dr. Woldiab Isak, Dr. Bakhtiar Ahmad, Pastor Lacey Sykes, Charlotte Dye, Joanne Evans, Bob Lancaster, Diana Christensen, and myself, and Paulette Brownheim, Dr. Paulette Brownheim. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I'd like to ask Cheryl Brown, the publisher of the Black Voice News, to come up.
Can I have you go ahead and come up first? Thank you.
Joel Ayala, director of GoEd. He's a very forgiving man. And Lewis Stewart, deputy director. And we thank them for everything they've done for the project, and they too have.
Thank you. I'll get you right back on the schedule. But when Cheryl says move, we move. My name is Joel Ayala. I am the director for the Governor's Office of Economic Development. And in my humble opinion, this is a good and appropriate use of redevelopment funds. I want to thank you for your commitment to the veterans, the public-private partnerships, and to removing old structures and replacing with jobs, healing, and hope. 3 things you can count on when you come to March. The sun will shine, there will be a party, and your shoes will get dirty. Beyond the impact to the Inland Empire, it's important to know that this is a global model of public-private partnerships that will help to restore the strength of the 8th largest economy in the world. On behalf of Governor Brown, Governor Jerry Brown, I want to thank you for allowing us to be a part of it. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Louis Stewart, Deputy Director of Innovation and Emerging Technology out of the Governor's Office of Economic Development. I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today. I'm sorry. The whole height thing gets me. I forget I'm not Miss Cheryl Brown. No, but innovation and emerging tech. Everybody always asks me, what is it? What do I do? Well, I go around the state and I promote innovation. I promote emerging technology. It's a fun job. I got wind of this opportunity probably back in January of 2010 when I was still working on the census project. And it was in the form of an email, a bunch of words put together. I had no idea what Dr. Paulette Brown was talking about. But they assured me that this was something that was going to be big for the state, for this community. Come March, April of 2010, right around the time when GoEd was formed, April 8th of 2010, Dr. Brown and Don Eckler showed up at the office for the grand opening with a picture. Finally got it. This was going to be the model, as Joel said, for the world. Out of my office, I have been trying to help promote this and trying to elevate the status in the state of this project and make it a model for the state, but also working with a couple of assemblymen and senators to see how we can export this concept, export what is going on here to different regions of the United States and different regions of the world. And it's quite appropriate that almost a year ago today, they showed up in our office with that picture. And we're here for the next phase of the demolition here on this site. So congratulations to everybody here, and thank you for letting us be a part of it.
Thanks, Joel and Lewis. Now, Cheryl, thank you for keeping me on track. Yes, I do.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming out today. Mr. Brown, Don, and to Diane Eckert in the audience. We recognize her as very much a part of what we do every day. Willie Lewis Brown has been called the man with the Midas touch. It seems everything he touches in his life has been a success. But that's the view from the outside. A deeper look shows it was hard work. He just made it look easy. He always turned lemons into lemonade. He grew up in the segregated South, moving to San Francisco looking for a better life. He could not get accepted into Stanford, but he got accepted at San Francisco State. His on-campus political activities led him to his chosen field, law. He was fascinated with politics and became a master. But for every success, many times there were setbacks. But failure is not in his vocabulary. I remember him once telling a group of us that he learned to count. And once he did learn to count, the speakership was his. His work as speaker and as mayor of San Francisco is legendary. But less known is his work with Title I parents, his support of promising candidates. While helping my husband, he visited our house, and our daughter Paulette that you've seen over there, and Renee in the audience. They were fascinated that Mr. Brown came to the house. Many times Paulette points to this as one of the building blocks of her success. Last spring, Don and I went to Napa. We introduced Mr. Mayor Brown to the March Life Care Project. He asked a few questions and was surprised at the answers. His curiosity was piqued because one of his passions is health care, research, and development. He truly believes in health access for everyone, and his Mission Bay project was designed to provide quality health care for every San Francisco citizen, regardless of their income. He helped to bring research to the Mission Bay area through the University of California. He is a champion and a person who looks very much forward. He works for the Foundation Fighting Blindness. He serves on a Purple Ribbon Panel Task Force on Alzheimer's. He believes in private and public partnerships to bring jobs and innovation to the community. His concerns about the subject is what brings us here today. Don and Willie have a lot in common. They both don't take no for an answer. When he called me the other day, he asked, "Cheryl, what have you gotten me into?" I think he will agree. This is right down his alley. I introduce to you our speaker, Mr. Willie Lewis Brown, the man of the hour.
Thank you very much. I removed the mic from the stand because I don't want Lewis saying anything else about height. Don, I am delighted to be here and to listen to all these great comments by so many people that have formed a partnership to do something which is extraordinarily unique. And Cheryl said that I had life. Well, let me tell you that if Barack Obama had any knowledge that you were doing what you are attempting to do here, his concept of health care for everybody in this country would be greatly enhanced if he simply followed your vision and your program and your operation. I suspect that many of you will want not only Barack Obama
to know about what you're doing. But you'll want Jerry Brown, beyond what was afforded here by his two representatives, to know what you're doing. I use those two names because at the moment they're probably the two most important political names for us collectively. Governor Schwarzenegger clearly understood what you were attempting to do and where your program was going. I was told by Don when he took me on a tour, he showed me where Arnold came with his own mallet and helped destroy one of the structures that needed to be removed. I would suggest to you that going forward, send a message of today's program and of your vision for the next 20 years in this region to the White House. Send that same message to Sacramento, to Governor Brown. And I suspect that the next time you have any form of a groundbreaking, a ribbon cutting, or anything else connected with this project, there will be more elected officials than there are people here. As one thing that we love to do, we love to participate and take credit for success stories that have been done. And I've lived virtually my whole life doing that, so I honestly tell you, because you see, this is the kind of program that represents how health care should be delivered. You made an assessment of what was needed and would be needed in terms of hospital beds. In almost every other location in this state, doctor, there are too many hospital beds, too many fragmented delivery systems, Steve, that exist. I don't know any other place where elected officials, appointed officials, private sector deliverers of services on the medical side, people who are incredibly efficient at managing land use, people who are interested and dedicated to delivering services to those who need it, and the recipients themselves, the patients, all participating many hours of going through the process of putting together a program. That's what you have successfully managed to date. And that appears to be what will produce a whole new use of a military base. A base that I didn't think they would ever, frankly, close down. When the words about closing military bases started in the 80s, I projected and predicted that March Air Force Base, El Toro, Treasure Island, Otters Point Naval Shipyard, Mare Island would never be closed. Every single solitary one of them closed. Maybe that's why I didn't win the mega state lottery. Every one of those facilities have now been closed. Of those facilities, the only one which has clearly overcome all aspects of the barriers that are erected. Stephen, you are absolutely correct when you describe how difficult it is to build anything in the state of California. Let me tell you, the state of California is easy as compared to trying to build something in San Francisco. You are guaranteed not to succeed at building in San Francisco. You get a permit, and it's 22 years later before you realize that you can't afford now to build it because it costs you so much to get there in carrying costs. The whole business of base reuse was supposed to overcome that. If you add the component of redevelopment, and let me assure you, in my opinion, redevelopment is not going away. No matter how much you read about all of what's being said and done, Because it takes, frankly, more than just somebody coming up with the idea that it should go away. Too often, business of removing something like redevelopment, you don't take in consideration the need for what you will have as a replacement. And until you can work through the whole process of what the replacements would be, in place will be that which is currently in a delivery on a positive side. Now, obviously, there are some redevelopment agencies that have no justification for being in existence. Well, let's just simply kill those. Let's not kill the ones that are actually productive. Let's not kill the ones that really work. In every redevelopment agency in the state that has under its jurisdiction any form of a base closure has a legitimate program and right to exist, and there is no possibility of any replacement being equally as effective. That message must be delivered, and it must be delivered in spades with examples of how that's a reality. The 5 that I named are all in one stage or another moving in that direction. The star of those movements on base closure is yours. You knew, Supervisor Asher, some time ago, as you said in your remarks, that March Air Force Base, at the time of its existence and for the entirety of its life, was the centerpiece, economically speaking, of this particular region. Many people's lives depended upon interacting and interrelating with this military base. This military base also was an incredible contributor to the defensive mechanisms and the business of protecting this country all around the world. It was viable and it was wonderful. But in the process of changing the method of the military delivery system, March Air Force Base became no longer necessary. Our government makes a real mistake when something as vital and as important to existing and surrounding communities, when they shut it down, not in a fashion that allows for orderly replacement, it becomes a devastating negative for that particular neighborhood and that community. In most cases, those communities do not rise up and do something equal to, if not better than, that which was there. You are on the threshold of doing something that's equal or better than what it originally was. Let me assure you that as I have listened to the presentation from Don, as I have read the materials, as I have observed and literally wanted to be a part of what you're doing, the concept of your medical delivery system. And I worked with Catholic Healthcare West in San Francisco. Lord Dean, when first recruited to come out to run Catholic Healthcare West many years ago, I was still the mayor. And he said, came in from Chicago, and he said, I have been instructed that when I stop in San Francisco, and before I unpack my bags, I'm to come to you at City Hall and introduce myself and tell you that I want to be in partnership with your city, the city you're running, to change the nature of the healthcare delivery system. At that time, Catholic Healthcare West was not much of an operation in terms of innovation, in terms of creativity, in terms of the kind of quality that Stephen brings to it. Was just not there. But Lord had it, and it was clear that the Lord had it. We were in the process. Somebody is, that's that flyover. In San Francisco, we'd assume about somebody is stealing a car. And you know, that kind of thing actually happened to me once in Sacramento when I was serving there. on one of those nights when we were hanging out. We were in East Sacramento, and I was with a fellow named Frank Vicencio. Some of you may remember that name. And we had been playing poker late in the evening, in the early morning. And we were walking back to the car that we had parked, and he leaned over the car. And it was those new, it was the first time that anybody had one of those numbers. He leaned on the car, and it started that noise. And the two of us, and it was our car, the two of us turned and started running like hell. We were a good 3/4 of a block before. Wait a minute. That's when you've been conditioned. The delivery system that Lower Dean and Catholic Healthcare West put together. And now in this 3 states, 4 or 5 states that they're part of. And now they're coming to your neighborhood. San Bernardino Clinic, the whole operation, Riverside Clinic, the whole operation in conjunction with Catholic Healthcare West, telling you will not believe how incredibly innovative a healthcare system can really be until you participate and watch the work that is and will be done. I'm amazed that you're going to be able to have a research campus facility, absolutely necessary. You're partnering up with the university in order to do the kinds of discipline, service that needs to be done on the research side, that you're literally producing an opportunity for seniors to be so placed and for seniors to have a continuum of care as is in fact needed. I must tell you that obviously there's a huge cost involved in all of this, and somebody has to front that money. John, I don't know where you got it, how you managed to do it, how you managed to take so many people on this wonderful 20-year odyssey. But believe me, your reward, in my opinion, will be the gratitude that will be shown by so many veterans who were originally on this base and their descendants, by so many people who live in this region and will be moving to this region. Mr. Mayor, when you get a new city like yours, a city that's young, the infrastructure for that city must include a quality healthcare delivery system, and you're about to get that. And not only that, the concept of an institute, the concept of a life learning and training facility and operation. All of those are the kind of incredible things that must be done if we are to produce an opportunity for people to live in reasonable comfort with an access to resources and services being provided by an enthusiastic group of doctors and others who really do want to practice medicine and who don't want to be annoyed with all of the paperwork that goes to have them compensated for their services. That's part of what will be the infrastructure for this new delivery system. And I say to the cities that are part of the joint authority, the county that's a part of the joint authority, I'm convinced that this may very well be a life care city rather than just a medical delivery system, but a real life care city that, as Lewis said, could and will be replicated all over this country. And again, I go back to my reference at the outset. You know, it was 2002 or 3, I got a call from some of my friends. Cheryl reminded me of this a moment ago. And we have a little network around the country where we kind of help quality candidates for public office if they really look like they have promise and they have a 15 to 20 year payment i.e. in terms of their services, if they get the right help. I got a call, and my friend Gene Duffy said, get this state senator in Illinois. His name is Barack Obama, and he wants to run for U.S. Senator. I said, what are you talking about? What's his real name? He said, that is his real name. No. That's named William Smith or something. There ain't no way anybody with the name Barack Obama is going to win anything. He said, no. You got to meet him. You got to talk to him and bring him out to San Francisco and raise some money for him. And sure enough, call came. Guy said, Mr. Mayor? I said, yes. I said, I'm Barack Hussein Obama. I understand that you think that my name is a burden. I said, as a matter of fact, brother, you're right. It is. It is a major burden. Major burden. And we kidded. Sure enough, he came out and we introduced him around and raised a lot of money. I think in terms of out of state, we repeated what we had done for Carol Moseley Braun when she ran for the U.S. Senate in the state of Illinois. And of course, Barack Obama won. And then, fast forward, Wednesday, 2008, November, my telephone rings at my home. And I pick it up, said, Mayor Brown? I says, yes. So this is President Barack Hussein Obama. Now, obviously, he remembered that I questioned whether or not. So, to get him here for the first building to be constructed, and when it's ready, and I hope it will be before this term ends as the presidency, I want to see him here. I want to see him here participating in what you're about. And I'm going to deliver the message. I've got to go back to Washington for a program that he's doing with Andy Young. He's invited me to come back. Invitations from him were almost as slow coming my way as was invitations from people I didn't support. But invitations come. And I'm